welcome to Glitch Please, the show where we talk about video games and the video games we're playing and all the news in the video games. And Adam, we don't know what is happening with Adam, but things are definitely happening in there. Adam, are you in there?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hi. Adam just took a while to boot up. It happens. It's morning.
Morning.
You know, nothing you can do about it. That's why this is all coffee.
These eyes are by destiny.
Yeah, you took off this week for Destiny.
Yeah, the only reason I'm here is to talk about Destiny. I'm going home playing.
All right. This week on the show, we are going to talk about Destiny 2 because, well, that's taken over everyone's lives. But then also, because this really kicks off the season for holiday game releases, we're going to discuss what's coming up for the holiday for video games, what some of the big releases are, what we're looking forward to, and also run through a couple of the biggest news items for the week. So let's start off. First of all, has anyone been playing anything that's not Destiny 2?
Yes. Oh. Before Destiny came out. Yeah, in the past week, of course. There's games before Tuesday night.
You weren't just
there were games before Destiny?
I did like a goodbye Destiny thing where I played Destiny 1 a little bit, but really I've been playing a lot of board games, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I saw you posting some photos on Twitter, which your Twitter is Gilby Ranger for anyone who wants to see Adam's sweet tweets, because you've been posting some board games as well that I've never heard of.
Yeah, man. There's like a world of board games out there. I'm very new to it, but I think it started with the Dark Souls board game where I bought that and I was like.
And you bought it because it was Dark Souls, not because
I bought it
you
because
really
it was Dark Souls.
A board game.
Exactly, and that was like a huge learning curve, but also like kind of opened my eyes to like this is really co-op board games are really fun. I was never into like competitive board games because people get really pissy and things like that. But when you're playing against the game with your friends, that's a lot of fun.
Now, have you played Contagion?
That's from my tweet. No, I have not.
If you like co-op board games, I recommend Contagion.
Contagion is really fun.
Yeah.
So what I've been playing most of is like cooperative fantasy dungeon crawlers where like you all assume the role of a character and then you go through the dungeon and your character progresses. The one in the tweet is Zombicide. Where there are 6 different playable characters. There's hordes of zombies, and like there are scenarios laid out for you where you assemble the tiles in a certain way. You assemble objectives, there are treasures and vaults, and you basically like go through this little like it's kind of like D&D light with your characters, where you're going through rooms, clearing objectives, killing zombies, and it's really fucking fun, man.
That's awesome. It looks really intimidating just from the photo.
I can see, I can understand why you say that. The game like puts a lot of zombies on the board. Like the game really does feel like a zombie invasion. And like these are like little character dashboards where you have like it's like your equipment menu. Like you have stuff in your left hand, your right hand, you have armor, you have an inventory. So on the surface, I can see why it's a little complicated. And it is a little bit like intimidating to look at, but when you break it down, it's pretty easy. I also just got another one. It's literally sitting right over there.
What is it?
I just picked it up.
I'll bring it on.
How many people can play this one simultaneously?
That's a 6-player game.
Is it heavy? Oh my lord!
Oh my god!
Why?
Hold on. Now I gotta.
League of Legends.
Oh, good lord!
So this is this is Mechs vs. Minions. My friend recommended this to me. My friend David. Because he's a really big board game guy, but it's based on the world of League of Legends. It's not a MOBA board game though, but it's like another 2 to 4 player co-op game that are all scenario based.
Congratulations!
And it's like the reason I bought this game is because of the presentation of it all, like. And look how many fucking minis there are.
There's a lot of.
Are you gonna paint them?
That box.
So actually, what's cool is the main characters are already painted.
It's like takeout food. It's separate.
It is, and these already have an acrylic wash on them, so they already have a little bit of shading. I'm gonna leave these ones as is, but I'm on a fucking kick, man. So if you guys have any recommendations, I'll take them. But I'll let you know how this is. I feel like we should play some board games together
Let's play Ticket to Ride.
as a
Ticket to Ride is
podcast.
so much fun.
You seeing this? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a show.
Let's do it. Let's
Can I be on your show?
Let's play some board games.
Can I play board games with you?
It should absolutely be a show. There's no reason we shouldn't have a board game show.
All right, here we go. Board game show. You heard it here first. If we say it on a show that we put out.
We've already said we're going to play
Is
Terraria
that-
on a show, too. That never fucking happened.
Oh,
Wait.
Teddy's playing Terraria, so now I have to.
All right.
All right. But no, now that we've said it on a show, that's the green light process, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
you
So,
say it
like,
on a
we
show,
now
and
have
that
the go-ahead
starts
to
the
do it.
groundswell where people will start demanding it.
If I just start bringing in my board games and start piling them in front of someone's office, is that how I start getting things greenlit?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm on it.
It's all about just piling stuff up. So board games, you said you have been playing something else.
There was something I got to play while I was at PAX, because I just came back from PAX West. And while I was there, I got to go check out Evil Within 2 and Fallout 4 VR at the Bethesda booth.
All right. Talk about Fallout 4.
Okay. Basically, the part I got to play was sort of the introductory mission that you have in, is it Covenant? Where you meet the Patriots faction. What are they? The Pats fans, you know.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
The football team.
I couldn't hear it so well, so my
football?
yeah, it's totally all
Patriots is
football.
football?
Yeah.
You go, it's basically your first town you encounter, and you meet your first faction, and there's kind of a big fight, and you get some power armor to play around
The
with.
Pilgrims.
The Pilgrims, sure. How confident are you?
The Constitution Men.
Yes.
I like that
The
one.
Matchstick
The
Men.
Minutemen.
Minutemen. That's the one.
That's you got it. You were so close.
I was just going through the process
you were
of
like
elimination.
Minute People or something. What'd you say?
I said Matchstick.
There was
Which
a
is a
minute in
movie
there.
with Nick Cage.
It's a great movie. I
Yeah.
really enjoy that movie, actually.
The Commonwealth Minutemen.
Commonwealth Minute.
There you go.
There we go. So it was really cool to, and, you know, again, one of the great things about VR is getting a sense of perspective and scale on everything.
Yep.
So I entered the area on foot, and you know, part of that first mission, you also get power armor. As soon as I was in power armor, I was like huge
Oh,
and bigger
fuck
than everybody.
yeah.
It was really cool. The version that I was playing there, you had infinite ammo and had like a selection of weapons, so I just got to go to town on anything I wanted to. And
Now, I understand the movement in the Fallout 4 VR is teleportation.
well, no, actually, it's selectable. They have a
Okay,
teleport.
great,
And they
because-
have a
I heard the teleportation detail and immediately lost interest because I thought this sounds fantastic to play, but part of what makes those games, like the Bethesda games in general, both Fallout and Skyrim, which is also coming out in VR, really engaging is wandering through that world. So if all you do is like teleport from spot to spot to spot, that feels like Myst.
Yeah.
And I don't really need
And
that.
in combat, that's not great. No, they did have a selectable option, because that's as soon as the first thing I asked was defaulted to teleport. I was like, is there any other way to do this? And they're like, oh yeah, just go in this option.
So is that basically like a stand-up versus sit-down implementation potentially?
You could argue that, but I think just as many people could. Turning was based on turning your body, and then the D-pad or the touchpad was strafe. Unfortunately, the demo module they had, the left stick thumb pad was broken going
Great.
right.
Oh,
So
that
I could
sucks.
strafe left, but not strafe right,
Great.
and I messed that up
Interesting.
so many times.
What was VATS like? Did it actually pull out?
Yeah, I mean, well, it didn't like pull out, but once you activated it, whatever target you were looking at, you could just like.
So but
Select
when
what
you
it
get a
wanted to
crit,
shoot.
it doesn't like zoom into the zombie game like.
I don't know that I got a crit.
Okay.
Or if maybe it just doesn't.
Okay, probably not. I mean, I would assume that'd be too disorienting.
I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't use VATS that often, just because it was so much fun to shoot by hand.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe that's what they planned on.
It felt good. Yeah, exactly. But being able to do this was pretty cool.
Yeah.
With the Pip-Boy and kind of select around through it, and everything felt okay. You can even still pick things up and like manipulate them in the world. Though the one problem I had with that was I kept picking things up, and like I tried to put a coffee cup on this guy's head, and as soon as I released the thing that was letting me manipulate it physically, I think I picked it up, which is I want to be able to stack things, but there's probably a way around that. But yeah, no, the shooting felt good. The Deathclaw was huge.
Do you think the real question is like you play it in a demo environment where VR in bite sizes is fucking great, but the real challenge is being able to sit in a headset for 4 or 5 hours at a time. Is it something that would compel you to do that?
Probably. I mean, it's something I would want to play. I don't know if I'd play the entirety of the game again, but it'd be almost more like a tourist experience. Like I want to go see everything. I want to see all those moments from the game that I remember and see it like in first person.
Yeah. You want to see
VR view.
what's
Now-
his name? The prime big boy
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah,
Boy
I know.
Prime.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. we've lost the name. It's been
Sounds
too
like how
long.
I talk about my favorite characters. The Prime Big Boy, the
Yeah,
good
Big
boy.
Boy.
You know, Prime.
I've heard this is a Vive exclusive, right?
It was demoed on Vive.
I don't think there are Vive exclusives.
Well,
I think it's
I think
it's
it's
on the
I
Steam
think
platform.
Bethesda announced it, and I think
They're just not going to make it for Oculus, I think is what it amounts to.
I think
yeah.
that if it runs through Steam, though, like it is natively supporting the Oculus.
I believe that is probably true. Now, you may have, the thing that may
The
not
room
integrate-
scale VR thing might be very hard, or might be more difficult for Vive.
The touch may not be supported, which would make
Touch, what do you mean?
the Oculus Touch.
Oh,
So if they haven't
Yeah.
done anything to customize it for
Yeah.
that, it might be
Gotcha.
that might be problematic.
There's a
But-
statement
Ben?
early last month that said they kind of backtrack on that Vive exclusive, saying it's launching exclusively for Vive in December, but may come to other platforms later on.
okay.
But May.
Yeah, because that's the real trick. When I heard that, I remember thinking, weren't Vive the ones talking about how exclusives in VR were bad?
I mean, there's no real, as Adam said, I think that runs on OpenVR when it's on Steam, so I don't know that there's such
So
a
maybe
thing
they're
as
just
a-
not officially
I
supporting
think,
it yet.
Yeah, I think that's just like
Yeah.
they need to do the port to the controllers and also make sure that they can say that it works well enough in Oculus room scale that they can say, yeah, it's an Oculus game, but.
Yeah, it looks like Bethesda later tweeted out that Fallout 4 VR is only coming first to HTC Vive, and that they want to support as many platforms as possible, which all but confirms the game will eventually release on PSVR like Skyrim VR and Doom VR.
I mean, Oculus, yeah, people will instantly be able to port it to Oculus just by virtue of the fact that it will run on that platform, more than likely. But yeah, PlayStation VR is a whole other hurdle.
Yeah, well, Bethesda and PlayStation hardware have not always been kind to each other in the past. So we'll see how that ends up going.
So would recommend checking it out, yes.
How was PAX?
It was a lot of fun. It seemed like compared to E3, it was much more easy to navigate. Like the lines, they were much better at like capping the lines earlier. So that kept people having a chance to come through. Like at E3 this last year, some lines would fill up before the convention hall even opened, and that would be the line for the day. Like no one would ever see that line again, or would be in it for the rest of the time that they spent there. This one, it seemed like they were capping them, like trying them like an hour or 2 hours, something like that. Though I've heard of a few that were up to 4, but and they would just say come back, like, and that really made the floor flow a lot better. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a cool environment. I'm surprised that I didn't see as much cosplay as I thought I was going to.
PAX
Yeah.
isn't really a cosplay con.
I've heard that
I wouldn't say that.
at
I mean,
all.
it's not like it's not a cosplay con, but it's not like an anime expo.
True.
It's
There's a lot of good
PAX.
cosplay.
yeah, there's
There
great
is.
cosplay at PAX. It's just not.
Well,
packed.
I mentioned that to people there, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a little bit light this year."
Yeah.
So I don't know what was up.
Were you at the booth when Tim Robbins was there?
Wait,
Robbins
as in,
came
As in Shawshank
Tim
Redemption?
Robbins,
Came to the
tall,
RT
super
booth?
tall Tim Robbins?
No, as in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
Tim
isn't he
Robbins.
like
he's super
crazy
tall.
Oh, yeah,
tall?
okay.
He's crazy
Yeah, he
tall.
was at the booth for like 3 hours apparently, just like hanging out.
The RT booth?
Yeah, he just wanted a place to sit down and work on shit.
I was not aware of that.
Like
no.
Adam was like, yeah, the PAX was fine. The one weird thing was like Tim Robbins was there and he wanted to use our Wi-Fi, which we let him, but Tim Robbins, everyone was very confused. I was like, wait,
That is very
I was like,
confusing.
explain the situation. He's like, Tim Robbins came by and sat down at the signing table just to hang out and work on his laptop.
Well,
All right.
during a signing, or
No, just like when he wanted, he just was there.
Life as Tim Robbins is good.
I
Hey,
guess.
you get free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would just like. Is he an RT fan or have like a?
Nah, I don't
I think he just saw a
that
table.
Anyone?
You see,
That's
you see
Tim
a
Robbins'
table, you
life,
sit
it's just
down
like,
at the
there's a
table, you ask for the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
All right, hey,
Good. It's good. What have you been
good on
playing?
you, Tim Robbins.
I think he wants to just see those like head turns. Was like, what the fuck
Sorry.
is Tim Robbins doing here? Sorry.
I almost beat Mario Rabbids.
Oh, nice.
So that was nice. Yeah, it's like a good, like I was telling you yesterday, it's a good game that like you can just pick up, play a world, put it down, or play for 3 hours and put it down. So I've been slowly chunking my way through that. And I think I have like one more board because I'm in the last world. And I've been
Nice.
trying to do a perfectionist run, so I'm getting perfects on everything. So I keep going back.
You have to like go back and can you replay or do you have to reload an earlier save?
Replay. So there's like a level machine you can go into and replay worlds. And
Gotcha.
so I have everything perfected other than the last world. And so I'm going to finish the last one, and then go back, perfect the last world, and then I'll probably be done until the DLC comes out.
Have you done all the challenges?
No.
They're hard,
They're
dude.
hard. I tried the first challenge, and I was like,
I tried the first challenge after I
Eh.
beat the first world, and I was like, defeat 14 enemies in 3 turns. Like, I don't. have the means.
Exactly. So
Like-
that's why it's like nice to go back and perfect all the worlds once you're overpowered, because you can like just destroy everybody. And I've been finding myself like beating rounds that are like, you have 8 turns in 2, and I'm like, haha, fuck everybody. And it's a very nice feeling. So I'm hoping that
Mario Smash.
exactly. I'm hoping that I can just do all of that, like get completely overpowered, perfect everything, and then probably if I'm like, I have 30 minutes to kill, I'll pick up the game, do a challenge mode. But I'm hoping, we haven't had anything announced, but like it would be crazy if there was no DLC, if there were no extra worlds, because like there were just 4 of them. That's not enough.
Yeah, it seems when there are that number of worlds, it almost feels like not a tech demo. 'Cause I
Right.
don't think that's doing it justice, but certainly a proof of audience appetite. Like, here's the first game. It's a little bit
Sale.
smaller in scale. If this one does well, then we do sequels that have more worlds, more, more all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is just to see, do people want this? Because not every crossover works. I know they keep doing Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
But
do
it
people
never
buy
works.
that?
No one ever buys Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, and they keep making them.
There's one thing I complain about that game is that, like, in the first boss in that game is Rabid Donkey Kong. And it's like, okay, all these bosses are going to be like Rabid and Mario tie-ins. And the bosses are great, especially the third boss. I think they're awesome. But I feel like they could do so much more with that, with just bringing in
Yeah.
Nintendo characters and, like, mixing them with Rabbids. If there's DLC, that's what I want to see. And I want to see more characters, goddammit.
I know.
There's not nearly enough.
There's not nearly enough. I would want to see like Rabid Wario and Rabid
Yeah.
Waluigi.
Yeah.
Do you think they're
Yeah, but they do have to like
characters?
save that for
Probably.
future installments. Because if you do
True.
all of the characters all at once, then you got
Gotta get
you
'em
got
on the
nothing for the
comeback.
future.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with Adam. I hope that there's more like bosses that are other Nintendo characters. That would be really fun to just see like Super Smash but with Rabbids.
Yeah, that third boss in that game.
Super Smash but with Rabbids.
that,
Hear that, Nintendo?
But the game that's been taking everyone's lives over
Knack
this
2.
week, Knack 2.
let's
So
talk about it.
let's just chuck Destiny 2 out and talk about Knack 2,
I
the
thought you were
sequel that everyone was
serious for a
super
second,
excited
and I
about.
was like, what?
Well, that also released this week.
It did release this week. I don't know why it chose this week to release against.
Did it matter?
I mean, I guess maybe there's not a whole ton of audience crossover between the Knack 2 audience and the Destiny 2 audience, but the big game is obviously Destiny 2.
Yep.
So it is finally hit. It is not out for PC yet. It will not be until next month, but it came out for PS4 and for Xbox One. What do you play it on?
I'm playing on Xbox One.
PS4.
PS4.
Xbox One.
I'm playing. I was debating because the boys are playing it on Xbox, but I had a sneaking suspicion that they're gonna switch to PC, but they don't have a PS4 at their mom's house, so they're playing on Xbox for now, and then they'll just start over completely when it comes to PC, and I'll be there like, got my sweet cross save character.
There is no
Don't-
cross save.
For PS4 PC.
What?
No?
No.
Nothing?
No.
I heard that you could take your character
Well,
from PS4 to
every
PC,
time-
but not Xbox.
Every time we've asked
Not cross play.
Not cross-play, but cross-save, yeah. No, every time we've asked Deej,
Deej always goes, we'd like to,
yeah, he just gives you that real
but
sideways look.
we can't
Son of a-
because of
I'm sorry to disappoint
other
you.
factors.
can't
And she was
yet.
like,
Son of a bitch.
we're in
So sorry to
talks with
disappoint you.
people and we'd love to. And I'm like, so Deej? And he's like, we'd love to.
What if by right before release of the PC version, they're like, and PS4 will cross save? You think all the Xbox players that are switching to PC would be fucking pissed?
Oh, absolutely.
I would.
I
mean,
would.
honestly, my assumption is that it's Sony's fault that we don't have it already.
Sony seems pretty intent on
Yep.
keeping stuff to themselves.
Sony doesn't like cross
Stuff.
anything.
And here's the thing. I can see them being I'm sorry if I'm casting aspersions upon you, Sony, but I can see like Xbox, Microsoft has been pretty open to these ideas. Plus, they've got a history with Bungie. They'd probably be like, all right, you want to cross save? Sure, go for it. But Sony's been real stick in the mud about the whole process. I can see them going, no. And because you have exclusives with us, we're not going to let you do it with anybody else either.
Yeah,
True.
but I think that's if there's a holdup, that's going to be where it is because Sony, everyone is saying like Rocket League is like, we've got crossplay ready. Sony says no. More recently, Arc said, we've got crossplay ready. Sony says no. It really, Microsoft was like, we'd like to get the PlayStation version of Minecraft working with everyone else. But
says no.
Sony, let me pitch you a new movie idea. It's a remake of the classic Jim Carrey Yes Man, only with you saying yes. Finally, to everything that people want.
The thing is, like, they don't really have to because they're like.
It's not about having to. It's about just improving your life. You know, it's about expanding your horizons.
Hey, Sony, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Your horizon.
Let's talk about the good things. Let's talk
sorry,
about Destiny.
Destiny 2.
2 was it?
All right, so Destiny 2 is out.
Yes.
Is it living up to your expectations so far?
Yes.
What were your expectations?
My expectations were that it's going to be more story, which within the first 20 minutes it proved it already was. My expectations were that the game was going to be pretty, which within the first 20 minutes it already proved it was. That the soundtrack was going to be great, again, proved it. That I was going to have a good time and that my friends are going to also enjoy it and we're going to play together and have a good time. Yeah, it's living up to all my expectations.
So you've been playing with people pretty exclusively, right? You're not playing it solo except where you have to.
I've been playing it solo actually for the past night. Last night I played completely solo because there was a GameStop mix-up and my friend doesn't have her game yet.
Oh no!
So she doesn't get it till tomorrow and she's very upset about it. But so this is the first time I've actually taken Destiny in by myself without commenting and friends and gasping together. It was just me in my apartment playing Destiny for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours last night. And I love it. I love it so much. I mean, I've been a Destiny 1 player since Destiny 1 dropped. And so I've been playing all of the years, and I've been waiting for Destiny 2. I played it at E3. I was like, this is the first moment I'm playing Destiny 2. I'm waiting so hard for it. And I think that because there was no story really in the first Destiny 1, they tried to do it into the expansions, but just, I don't want to like spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it, but like the first opening mini story that happens that takes you into this world was like, I think it would get you even if you haven't played Destiny 1, but being a Guardian for 3 years of my life, like having this really dramatic thing happen to your character that carried over, so it's my same character from before, and there's just like a really great soundtrack and everything like just really gets you in the feels, and I was like, man, this is gonna be an adventure. And I've played through a good chunk of the story so far, and they really like make you emotionally invested in these characters that you have to go find and save and bring back to continue the fight, to take back your homeland. And it's like, yeah, this is the Destiny 1 I wanted. This is what it should have been. And so I think that's what's really making me excited, is it's like, this is what I wish we had to start with, but it made the wait worth it. So I like Destiny.
Yeah, man, it's real good.
Now, are you a longtime original Destiny fan?
Yeah.
So similar thing, and you're introducing Grace to it.
Yeah, like
Grace likes it?
She's home, and I was like, I'm gonna be playing this nonstop. You should play it. She's like, I want to play. So she played. She's playing a Warlock right now. She has a Space Wizard. I'm playing a Titan. She's just going through the story right now. I think we're gonna play today. I sort of ran through everything. Level 20, level like 240 power.
You're 20 already?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
I'm also like gearing up. Right, I was spending last night gearing up. The one thing I'll say about this game is they do a really, the story is awesome, and I love that their story. It's fucking fantastic. But they do a great job, like giving you like some level of gear progression early on, without spoiling too much. Like they make you feel powerful and give you cool shit throughout the entire game rather than just at the end. And like you are to some extent still just cycling out gear while you level, but to some extent you're getting really cool stuff.
You get an exotic fairly early on.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the thing I wasn't going to spoil, but there it is.
No, I don't feel like that's much
in the
of a
first
spoiler.
like hour of
It's-
gameplay.
Here's the thing that makes it not a spoiler is you'll be walking around the common areas and be like, that guy's got wings.
That's
Yep.
true.
Why has that guy got wings? Oh, he's
true.
wearing an exotic.
And it's like, wait, he's level 7.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So the thing that I was, aside from the story, the thing I was most excited about was how they were going to change the open world areas of the game. And to some extent, they delivered. There's a couple things that they said that aren't necessarily true, but in as a whole, the open world has a lot more to offer. And specifically, like after a certain point in the story, like if you don't, if you're playing it in the beginning and you're going through these like they're not called like you don't patrol anymore. Or
They're
you can patrol.
adventures.
They're
But
adventures.
there are like patrols.
There are patrols.
Yeah,
That's the
they
thing.
unlock
I do like that
wondered
it's like,
about that,
would
'cause
you
the
like to go
adventures-
on an adventure?
Yeah.
The
Yes, I
adventures-
would.
So the patrols unlock later. There are things called challenges which replace bounties. So every map daily I think it's daily, will have like you hit the director and it will pop, or you hit your ghost and it will pop up 3 challenges per
It's like Strike
World.
and Crucible, I believe, both have them.
You
Yes.
pick up your
I don't know about
dailies
regular
automatically, pretty much.
No, but if you launch to the world, every world has their own challenges as well.
Like just in the patrol area.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So patrol, Strike, and Crucible.
Yeah. So
and
like
then in addition to that, all the public events that will just like pop up.
Public
whenever.
events
That's
telling
so
you
cool.
when they're going to happen
It's
is the
great.
greatest
That's
thing that's
amazing.
ever happened to me.
So the map is like, it's amazing. You see where the public events are happening. You have different teleportation points. If you say I want to go to that public event and you track it, it'll actually highlight the closest fast travel, and you can just go right there. It has little symbols for world treasure chests, which give you tokens. Every world has a currency that when you're doing public events, when you're opening chests, when you're fighting special enemies, you get a currency, and you go back to whoever the guy you talk to in that area is.
You have like a contact, a local contact.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, and then you
He'll-
turn in
he'll
those,
give you gear
and then
faction.
you like
Yeah.
level up your reputation
Yes.
with them.
It's not even rep. It is rep.
You know,
Yeah, it
Taylor
is.
Swift is all about that.
Yeah.
I think it kind of replaced the Dead Orbit faction.
It totally did. It totally did.
And instead of everybody being gathered on the tower, like you said, every world has a contact. So you can buy armor and guns and build reputation with the specific contact
Yeah.
on that planet.
And it's not like with Dead Orbit and those where you have to build up to like level 2 or level 3.
Right.
It's just like as soon as you give them enough stuff, you get an engram, and there's no levels. It's just you keep.
So you do have to be level 20 to actually claim it. I've
Yes.
already unlocked
Yes.
an Ingram and couldn't get it.
I did the
that.
same
I
thing.
was like, I'm gonna get all these. I leveled up my reputation, and it says, and then
It's
come
weird.
back when
Fuck
you
off,
level
kid.
up. I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I was like, oh man,
You're
I'm
not old
only-
enough to touch
I'm
this
only
yet.
like level 7.
Get out of here, baby.
They made some interesting changes. You don't level up guns anymore. Like you make them higher power level, but you don't go through and like unlock the different
yeah.
perks. They're just all unlocked to begin with. And that's great because you can just like as you're leveling and you get blues, you can switch the scopes out and things like that. But I kind of like that, especially with exotics of like, I finally got this gun. Now I'm going to work with it for a while to unlock like its true power and the thing that makes it really cool.
Well, there does seem like and I haven't gotten too deep into it. I've just seen the slots, but there are now modification slots on things.
Yeah.
So the mods, like as far as I've seen, the good ones are like adds 5 damage. Which is significant. Adds 5 power level, which is significant because it means that you can make your gun a higher power level with just a mod. But I haven't seen anything too crazy. It's generally like adds damage, or for like a helmet slot, it's like you handle your weapon faster. It's perks you've already seen on armor, but brought into a mod.
Have you gotten any of those yet?
Yes, I have.
Where do you get them, and are they can you take them out and put
they're
consumable?
I've got them through the silver.
Microtransactions?
Yeah. Well,
No, Adam.
yeah. So it's a little
That's-
scary. So
I thought
they
that was
actually
just gonna be cosmetic.
they actually removed. You can get them in other ways, I believe. I don't know how. Maybe through rewards.
You're level 20.
So
you don't know. That's scary.
first off, well, I'm still exploring the game. So first off, you do get bright engrams, which are the ones you buy for real money throughout just playing the game. I've been level 20. I've gotten like 3 since yesterday.
That's where your shaders are, and
Yeah, it's where your shaders are, your cosmetic items, and some mods.
which shaders work very differently.
Oh my gosh,
That's-
shaders
that's-
are one
this-
use.
That's everyone's biggest
This
complaint.
This
So-
is like
consumable.
the one complaint I have about Destiny 2 so far is what they've done first with shaders, but second with microtransactions. So one, shaders being a one-time consumable.
Why would you do that?
And shader is a one-time consumable, and it's per armor piece.
Yes.
What?
As well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
You
per
do not.
piece.
A shader is no longer applied to your entire body.
So-
which means you have more customization options.
No.
But if you want like one shader applied to everything, you need 4. What is it?
Or than weapons.
And
you need
So-
let me guess, it's all randomized bullshit
With-
that you have to pay for to get more bright engrams, to get more shaders.
That is where microtransactions
With
tie in.
the
Yes.
microtransactions, they actually removed something from them because I got a few legendary mods which are like it's the best ones. You add 5 damage to a weapon.
Does it have exotic?
They don't.
Okay.
As far as I can tell,
Yeah.
at least. But those are the best ones, and those were in microtransactions, and they actually removed them because people were complaining because it is like you pay money, you get something that will give you extra 5 power on your weapon. But they removed them sometime yesterday.
Well,
for the most
got
part,
rid of them, or did they move them somewhere accessible to not a paywall?
they removed them from the microtransactions. I'm assuming those things still exist in the game.
Right.
But I will say there is no shortage of gear to get in this game. Like in terms of really quick. Like I was going through and just doing all the chests on the planets. Those give you a ton of the currency, which you can turn in for gear. I was turning in my weapon parts. That gives you a ton of currency. There are challenges that give you currency. There are the milestones, which are if you hold L2 on the map, or the director, those give you a ton of different things to do. The game's fucking good. And you know what I did is the strikes, and I was so impressed with the strikes, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't done them all. I think there's 5, and I've done 2.
Now, have you gotten, since you've gotten, you beat the story?
I've actually not beat the story.
No?
I'm on one of the later missions.
I'm curious if, because so far I haven't seen an option to do something hard. In Destiny 1, you could run it normal or run it on like, well, and then they made it like run it on hard, medium, or easy. And so far, every story mission that I've run hasn't really been a challenge.
I haven't seen that either.
Okay.
And I don't see where to replay them. I believe that's something you can do once you beat the story, but I haven't done it, so I can't say.
Fair enough.
I will say, even on the strikes, as far as I can see on the map, there was no. Maybe I haven't gotten to this point in the milestones, but there's no strikes on the map. You go to the strike playlist, and there's normal and there's nightfall.
Okay.
I don't know that there's anything in between.
Have you tried a Nightfall yet?
No, because you need light around 260, and I think I'm 240.
Okay.
I would think that because the clan servers haven't even opened and the raid isn't even out yet, that maybe when all of that starts to drop, that's when they're going to add the extra levels and such. Because like the strike's not even out yet, so like, or not the strike, the raid, so you can't even have raid hard mode because there's not even a raid.
Well, hard mode did traditionally follow after the release of the primary raid, too.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that probably since it's day 2 of Destiny, it'll come eventually.
Yeah, so well, I mean, it makes sense too to give people reasons to you go through, do the story, do your strikes, do that stuff, and then after that they give you a reason to come back. So maybe that's something they'll add a month in.
The downside to that, though, is so the mission difficulty doesn't seem to scale with your level at all. So having played some Crucible, I'm now way over leveled for the recommended light for any mission.
I felt like I was that way even just playing through the story.
Pretty immediately, which again, I'm nitpicking. Like it's still very enjoyable, but it's not like I don't feel like I'm challenged playing it. They make up for it by making interesting missions.
I've played some parts even when I was above the light level that were like somewhat of a challenge. Like certain bosses with just shit spawning everywhere. That campaign, man, is like really good and also like lengthy. I think I played it for 8 to 10 hours, and I'm most of the way through, but like I'm not done yet, and that says something to me. Like I think with like some of the expansions, like the Rise of Iron one, I was like, oh, I played for an hour and a half, I'm done. Like on top of that, like
aside from like raid content, but
on top of that, like there's so much to do with the maps. Like, have you ever played Guild Wars 2?
Oh yeah, wow, back in the day.
This is kind of like, the maps are kind of like that, where every world you have like different sets of things to just check off a list and get rewards for. So you have like the chests and the lost sectors, and you have the adventures and challenges. Fucking good, dude.
Right?
How do you guys feel about the subclass, the way that works now? Because you start with one subclass.
And then you love it.
That's my biggest complaint.
Really?
Well, okay, so let me explain it first, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
So the way it works in Destiny 2 is you start with the new subclass.
Right, so I'm playing Hunter, so it's the Arc Strider.
Right.
Yes.
Wait,
Ryan, can I guess? Are you a hunter?
I am a hunter, but my Titan,
You're playing
Titan
a
main.
Warlock?
I'm a warlock. Okay. I'm a warlock
you're a
through and
Titan.
through.
Yeah.
I'm normally a Titan main, but I went hunter just to keep the, like in
To be
Achievement
Captain
Hunter,
America?
I wanted to have some, to be.
Or no, Captain America, you're you have a staff.
No, I just wanted to keep like a distribution in the Achievement Hunter office. Because usually Gavin's our hunter, but he's out for a while. So.
Oh, that makes sense. So now you're a hunter.
But so you start with that class, and then randomly opening a chest, which chests drop at the end of. This is sort of a weird thing where public events now at the end of it there's a chest, or you kill certain enemies in the world there'll be a chest, or they'll just be the random loot chests. But you randomly, when you're opening one of those, you'll get an item that if you attune with it, which is just kill things,
or do public events,
or play Crucible. Crucible is, I think, maybe the best way to do it because I, in one game, got like 50% progress on attuning with it. But then once you're attuned with it, you take it back to the source of your power. I don't know if it's not really a spoiler.
that's kind of a spoiler.
No, the source of your new light source.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I have a story quirk about that too. But anyway.
How you're the only one to get it?
Yeah, even
it's
when you're
weird.
with other people.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
It all has.
Hi, other guys on my team.
Oh wow, that
but
one,
I'm
the
the
one guardian, man. Everyone, you're the one guy that's good now.
Don't you like hanging out with the one guy?
So
yeah.
weird.
Anyway,
but-
it's weird. They could have easily just said like, yeah, everybody go over there.
yeah, wow, look at this thing.
Anyway, so you get that item, you attune with it, then you go back to the place you got your power back, and then you're granted the subclass, which in my case, the first one I found is the golden gun for the hunter. I've already seen that Jeremy has striker and the hammer guy.
Same.
I
So-
avoid Walker.
So,
Okay.
like,
You can unlock more
it's so
than one.
weird
Yeah.
you say that because I was playing yesterday and I was like, okay, I want to get my subclass. So I was like, how the fuck do I do that? And I looked on the map and I saw an adventure. I was like, oh, upgrade point. That must mean where I got my subclass. So I did the mission and I got my subclass. And I assumed that by doing the mission, I got the subclass.
Oh.
But then later I was just walking around and I opened a chest and I got a subclass relic and I'm like, wait a fucking second. And then I realized like it was just happenstance. Like
Yeah.
that adventure didn't actually give me my subclass.
Right.
I just happened to think it would and it did. But that's not actually my biggest complaint because that's fine.
They seem to be fairly common.
They pace
It's
it
not
well.
hard to
They
find.
pace it well, and I think those missions are really fun. It's the way they introduced like the new subclasses when they did it last time in Destiny 1. But my biggest complaint is I was playing Captain America, the new whatever build.
Defender subclass
Yeah.
for the Titan.
It's like Captain America, Mercy, and Nightwing are the new subclasses.
So I love that class. I think it's really fun to throw a shield. However, you can break out. The skill tree works in this way. Every class has a skill that carries over to every skill tree, every subclass. So with the Titans, the shield, and you can either get a tall shield or a short shield, whatever. Then you have your different jumps, and the jumps are relatively the same, but you can mix and match those. You can mix and match the shield type. You can mix and match your grenades, and then you have two other things, which are like the Code of X and the Code of X. If you want. So, for example, I went up to the top one because I liked the melee of it. It was like, when you melee, you get an overshield. Badass. I like that. But then, like, the rest of the abilities were like, I don't really want my super to turn into a bubble shield. I want it to be my super. However, you can't mix and match the melee from up here and the additions from down here. It is, you get that whole node or the whole node. So, basically, I stopped playing that class because the bottom melee is a chart. You have to like run into it and then melee, and that to me is too situational.
Do you know what that reminds me of, though? That reminds me of old Destiny 1 leveling, when now that we have our recovery and everything on the outside, it's in our armor and such, instead of, and we don't have intellect and strength anymore. That's just
Yeah, I really like the fact
gear
that they streamlined that, and all of the skill nodes feel like significant.
right. But that reminds me of when you had to pick the way of the this or the way of the that in Destiny 1.
Totally.
Right? Like, which is
but in
frustrating.
Destiny 1, you could mix and match your melee.
You could,
and the
yes.
fact that you can't, like, I will take, if you want to tell me that, like, I need to take all of these three things because they all work in conjunction and they've like laid it out that way because that's how it's balanced, fine. But like, I want to be able to use the melee that gives me an overshield instead of the melee that makes me like sprint into someone, because sprinting into someone to melee is like very, very, very situational and not the best.
I 100% agree. It just reminds me of
Totally.
those, because I remember being forced to pick, like, you never recover, but goddamn are you fast, or
I
you are,
hated that.
you know, it was like
Such a boring skill tree.
It was such the worst skill tree. Like, I'm happy with these new skill trees, but I do kind of wish there was a way, because I liked being, I always call myself a very smart warlock. I liked being able to get my super back in like 10 minutes because my intelligence was like through the roof. Or if there was, if you're playing Prison of Elders and it was like, you get more points for grenades, and so your strength was just like through the roof.
Yeah.
And so you could just throw, was it strength or was it, whatever was for grenades?
I forget.
You could like
There were
throw
three,
grenades every
yeah.
2 seconds.
Yep.
And it was just crazy. I kind of miss the fact that you
Strength
can
was melee, maybe.
mod yourself to situations that you know you'll.
Bring me that coffee.
Yes. This is a compliant coffee. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thank you.
Bye. But
Client.
I'm liking the new streamlining that Destiny 2 is doing.
I love the skill trees, except for that
one thing.
There are other things. There's one thing that they sort of promised that they didn't deliver on. But I guess technically you could say they did. They said that there would be like, you're going to explore this open world and you're going to find like camps and you're going to go talk to these people. And technically, like, it's laid out very mechanically. Like, you open up a planet, you do the first mission, and then you have your contact who's right there when you spawn into the world. And that's the person at the camp. But really, that's just like, that's your world NPC. But you're not like exploring the world and stumbling across a group of people that need your help. It's not that way. It's so that was kind of like a miss on the mark for me. What I thought was cool was like, I was exploring and they were like, hey, when you see this symbol, that means that there's something deep buried inside there. And you know, I found one of those. I'm like, oh, it's a lost sector, but then I realized they were marked in the map. But there is stuff to do in the map. They are really fun. I think the worlds are like awesome and all have their own personality. I think Titan is maybe my favorite if it weren't so small. The way Titan is all like on these like floating platforms,
Yeah.
these
Titan
giant
is
waves.
really beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I also like that it's raining constantly and it's against the screen. It's really
I think
cool.
EDZ is my current favorite, but
I also like that you find a Titan on Titan. I laughed. I was like, did you do that on purpose?
dude, her shoulders are amazing.
Right?
They're like wider than the truck.
She's buff.
Yeah.
She's ready to go.
There is some now that I'm max level, there is some differences from max level Destiny 1. First off, the loot treadmill is a lot quicker, so you will gear up fast. Like, I was only max level for like 3 or 4 hours last night, and I almost have all, not only epic gear, but like I'm level 240 light. I think max is 300. So like, I assume by tonight I will be pretty far progressed. Like,
That's pretty quick.
it's really quick for Destiny. Destiny normally like is a slog.
Well, but are they going to replace that grind with the grind to get mods and the grind to get exotic?
That's a good question. So definitely not exotics though, because exotics are super fucking common.
Really?
And that is kind of
That's weird.
when you
That
see,
I got an exotic engram, and I'm
when you see-
not high leveled yet, and I was like,
right.
what?
When you see it in the story, it's like awesome. They're giving these as quest rewards, but I assume the rest will be rare. But no, like if you do a heroic public quest, you have a really good chance of getting one. By the way, you can make public quests heroic by completing sort of unnamed objectives. Like for example, with the spider tank, when the spider tank drops in, he drops these little spider or these little arc balls.
And
Yeah.
you're supposed to pick one up and deliver it,
If
right?
you put those in there, there are 6 nodes to put them in to unlock like scorch
Weapons,
cannons. If you do all those before the spider dies, a second one will spawn. You'll get more.
Oh.
You'll get more loot and a really good chance.
What,
of
a
an
second
exotic
spider will spawn?
Interesting.
yeah, and a really good chance of
wondered
an
how that
exotic engram. But the point of that is by the end of the game, I was playing yesterday for a few hours. I have like 4 or 5 exotics already, just by doing heroics. Just by doing, I will say like one of those did come from a powerful reward, which is an engram that gives you a good chance at exotics from my milestones. But like I feel like exotics are not that uncommon now, which to me is like that was sort of
Do you
they
think
felt
that
very
means-
special.
But at the
Do
same
you think
time,
there'll be another level then that they haven't really talked about?
Oh, like super exotic?
Yeah. Like out
Instead
of
of
this
gold, it's
world,
just see-through.
lunar. Hold on.
Or like something that'll boost its power that you have to kind of grind for.
would
I'm
be
sure there'll be more of those like, because that was one of the cool things they added later in Destiny 1 was the exotics that you had to acquire by doing very specific collection, kill kind of.
And I don't know if those exist. I'm sure they do because those were super popular in Destiny 1.
Right.
I haven't gotten any of those,
Yeah.
but I will say like so far just getting exotic engrams and random exotics it's pretty easy.
But at the same time, I do not miss every time Zur came into the tower buying 53 of coins.
I think Zur is still around, right?
Is he?
Well, we
Maybe
don't know.
I'm
yeah.
wrong.
But I mean, but it was, towards the end of Destiny 1, it was like, all right, everybody, pick up your weekly 3 of coins. We're going to go into the strike playlist, pop your 3 of coins before you kill the dude, and then everybody would be screaming because, like, 5 hours later, no one got an exotic.
Yeah, no, totally.
I'm very happy to not have to do
The
that
balance
anymore.
before was bad. I think the balance now is still a little. It swung a little too far.
I
It didn't
agree.
meet in the middle enough.
Yes. But maybe with the adding of the raid and the harder difficulties, and as time goes on, because once again, it's day 2.
It's day 2.
Yeah.
It's day
Listen,
2.
dude,
We don't know what's coming.
Yeah, I'm still very much exploring the game
Yeah.
and seeing what it has to offer.
I hope it does swing the other way and meet in the middle there.
Yeah.
Because getting that exotic, like, 20 minutes in, I'm like, this is not Destiny
Yeah,
1.
what?
Let me ask you this: how do you feel about how the weapon system works now? So the new tweak to that is you've got 2 weapon slots, a kinetic and a energy weapon slot. Both of them can be any weapon type, essentially. Like you can get a submachine gun in either one, you can get a hand cannon in either one. And then
I hate it for snipers.
I hate it.
yeah,
I
and
hate
then
it so
sniper
much.
rifles, shotguns, fusion rifles, rocket launchers,
Grenade launcher.
Swords.
grenade launcher, and sword.
SMG.
SMG is not.
No.
No, that's for the.
Yeah, all of those fall into the heavy weapon.
Yes.
Power weapon.
Power weapons. sorry.
No, heavy. It's
heavy.
primary,
It's still
secondary, and
purple.
heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it except for snipers.
Snipers
and
is
probably
rough.
shotguns, to be honest.
I don't like that a shotgun
shotguns-
can be a heavy weapon.
Shotgun's better for PvP, so people aren't like the game doesn't devolve into just shotguns.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
shit.
honestly, in PvP, it seems like it's so far been way more useful to have a rocket launcher. Anyways,
yeah, rocket launcher.
in PvP. So the shotgun is just gone
Yeah.
in PvP.
I like it for the fact that you can interchange, like having an exotic or having a hand cannon in my second slot and whatever. But it's a bummer not being able to use the sniper rifle when I want to.
Well, I guess the other thing that's of note with that is the energy weapon has a elemental damage to it. So you can have any of the primary weapon types with elemental damage if it's in your energy.
But that's
bel-
so weird to have, like,
Well, it has
I
to be
now
in
have
your
a
slot,
void
so.
auto rifle in my secondary slot, and it's like, and I have a sniper rifle as a heavy. It's just weird.
That's just
Yeah.
hanging out there with no bullets.
So the one thing I will say I found out is that the PlayStation exclusive exotic sniper rifle
Oh no.
is like, I don't know how useful it is because it's a power weapon and it replaces like a rocket launcher, but it has the ability to switch between elemental type.
What?
Wow.
So like
What?
you can just cycle between them.
So that's just the only sniper rifle you ever need for a
Yeah, and it's a high impact sniper rifle.
damn.
Yeah. So
Really?
fuck.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't love that. I really wish, as someone that used to use a sniper rifle a lot, which maybe in PvE it won't be so bad because the power ammo seems to drop pretty regularly in PvE. Still, I haven't seen ammo packs. Have you? Do you still buy ammo?
I haven't seen ammo packs, or I haven't seen consumables like the wax idols that you can start killing
The
Vex
boost
and
for
get
Glimmer.
Glimmer. I haven't seen any consumables.
Glimmer's like super not a fucking problem.
That's true.
What's the cap on it?
100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so-
got to like 50,000 real quick.
Yeah.
What do you spend it on? Because I haven't.
So eventually in the store you will unlock the ability to talk to Cade in the farm, and he sells things like these not boosters, but they'll detect treasure chests
Gotcha.
on planets as you walk by them for 4 hours for like 1,200 glimmer. Later on, he also sells treasure maps, which you then
I think
go.
my character, I've equipped something.
I had
some
that.
piece of
Ghost.
equipment.
It's a ghost.
It's the ghost. Yeah, I have the ghost that from the.
But only
I
works
think
in
from
the
the dead
EDZ.
zone.
Yeah.
But also those only detect region chests, where his boosters detect just the randomly spawned chest.
Gotcha.
I see.
But yeah.
I mean, also,
I will-
if you want to boost levels quickly and you have 100,000 Glimmer, you can just go to insert contact on planet here and buy, like, all the gear, all the weapons if you like them, and just boost yourself up a few power levels. I'm going to keep saying light. It's light.
They've futzed around with the wording a little bit, but it's still light.
It's still light. It's still
weapon.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that it's no longer necessarily a slog to find stuff. They've even replaced for upgrading. Well, I guess you don't really upgrade anymore. There's not upgrading weapons anymore. There's not, as you mentioned earlier, so you don't need those resources you used to have to look around on the planet. They still exist, sort of, but you find there's a certain type for each zone, and you take that to the rep dealer, basically, and just turn them in. Unless there's other uses that I haven't seen yet.
I still kind of miss, I'm going to say, I miss the intellect and strength and everything. I miss getting pieces of armor and going max intellect, going max strength, like picking out my my balance for my character
Well,
for
I
that
think
day.
you're still doing that by the gear you choose, and actually the
True.
mods.
And I think it's the mods that I'm gonna.
The
switch out.
helmets, like you can choose to have a high mobility mod.
That's true.
Or you can have a helmet that gives you like a better handling on your hand cannon, which
I
is what I
haven't
do.
encountered mods and putting them on yet. Are they easy to switch in and out?
So I actually haven't because I'm so scared because of the way shaders work.
You're worried that if you take the mod off, it's just gonna poof.
So
Poor buddy.
So for like.
Let me see.
Look,
When you buy a
I feel it on the shader thing.
No, I hate
Listen,
that.
My poor hunter looks like just a little scarecrow.
He's gonna look cool. Don't worry. When you get a ship at the end of the game, not at the end of the game. Well, basically, the lady who does silver will give you a couple engrams throughout the game. At the end of the game, she gives you one, and you get a ship in it. And ships actually have a little slot in them for modification for not only shaders, but there's a thing called telemetry. So when you spawn or when you teleport in, that little whatever that looks like, the little blue.
Oh, like in Halloween, it was
stuff.
bats.
Portion
Exactly.
teleportation.
So now you can customize that. And then my ship came with one, and it was like, this is an emblem. And I was like, cool, that looks cool. But I have all these other ones because I bought a few packs. And so I decided to swap one in, and it just gets rid of the old ones.
Yeah.
So like those are not things you can swap in and out. And I assume mods are going to be the same way, where you get a mod, you put it on, it's permanent. If you put a new one on, the old one's gone.
See, and that's what bothers me because when in Destiny 1 you just, pick between two versions of a helmet, a strength helmet or an intellect helmet, you just flipped them back and forth. You flipped them.
From what I can find, Adam, it does look like once you apply a mod in Destiny 2, it's tied to that weapon and you can't get it back.
Well,
There you go.
fuck me
So
then.
It's some of that stuff is a little bit weird.
yeah, so as someone who I played a little bit of Destiny 1, but I fell off very, very quickly. It did feel like a shooter with a couple loosely connected pieces, but the story connective tissue wasn't all that strong,
Yeah.
and I was out. I had other games that I moved on to, and so even when the expansions came out, that everyone was saying they fix all that stuff and they make it way better. I just didn't care
spend the time,
enough
yeah.
to go back. So Destiny 2 is not 100% new experience for me, but it's pretty darn new.
Yeah.
And overall, I find it very easy to understand all the stuff that you're doing. You go into your menu, you can look and say, this gun is more powerful, this head thing is more powerful. Also, it makes me kind of look like a robot, which I'm on board with.
Yep.
Here's the different weapon types. Okay, here's the white and the green and the purple ammo that you pick up. And so all that stuff feels very intuitive. Like I don't have to think too much about it and go like, I don't know where to get ammo. It controls great. The beginning of the game, as it takes you through and introduces you to the different mechanics, wonderful. Game looks amazing. To be fair, I spent most of my time playing it on PS4 Pro, so that may have some influence there on just how good it looks.
Even on a regular PS4, it looks fan-fucking-tastic.
On a regular Xbox, it looks really great.
Looks fun.
Great. Can't wait to see it on PC.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though now apparently I'm gonna have to start over like a sucker.
You.
Oh, just play a different class. Be like a whole new game.
Nah, I really like the hunter class.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that had one of each?
I had one of each in the.
Well, it's
like
because
I'm not.
you had one of each in Destiny 1.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I had a max level. Well, I had played the game through with one of each class.
I think
Same.
by the end of the game I did, but definitely early on I focused on one character.
Yeah, I'm
I think
probably gonna-
I think right now I'm going to focus on just my Titan, and then when PC comes out I'll re-roll Titan and then do all the other ones as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. But I'm not gonna commit to that. I'm like my hunter right now. And I like getting introduced to the abilities. I actually kind of liked spending time with the Arc Strider subclass before unlocking another one because it did feel like, okay, I get to know this and know when to break out its power, which is anytime something yellow with a shield comes up that looks like it's gonna, make lunch meat out of me, and then bam. It absolutely destroys everything and really feels great. The introduction where it essentially you're feeling cool, you're doing cool stuff, and then it takes it all away, and then you feel like a weak, puny little human is really great. It once you actually get abilities back, you're appreciative of them. I like all of that stuff.
Like double jump.
Oh my God.
Oh God,
Not
double
having
jump.
double jump for that little section, I was like, man, taken that for granted.
Yeah.
Yep. So it did make me feel a lot more appreciative once I got those things. I really like the farm. I like the European Dead Zone. Titan is beautiful. I really like all of the different settings that I've seen so far. I haven't seen a ton. I've played a couple of hours. I'm like level 10. I mostly wander around. I'll get to an area, do any adventure thing I see, do a bunch of public events, and just faff around a little bit, enjoying the sort of area. And that's all been really great. I'm doing it 100% solo. Again, it is the fact that the rest of my family is doing it on Xbox. Sort of, so, and I've never played online PS4 stuff, so I don't have like a PSN friend network. So far I've been playing it all alone, and it's been totally fine.
Yeah.
And
I've been
it's
playing solo. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
The story is definitely written as if you're the only one.
It's
so.
true.
yeah, that's
kind of,
the one thing that, and we touched on it earlier, that there's the tiny disconnect around like you're the hero. Surrounded by many other heroes.
Yeah.
That happened in Destiny 1 too. It was like,
It
you're the
did.
only one to save the Traveler and the Speaker. And I'm like, what about the other millions of people?
Or
on the
even
tower?
like I played it in co-op. It's like, well, they were there.
Right,
Which,
they helped.
to some degree, I get, because in a campaign, you're the hero. In a multiplayer game, everyone's got an equal opportunity hero.
But the campaign
so-
is multiplayer.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's tricky to balance those elements. That's the only thing where I'd be occasionally be like, wait.
It's a tiny, tiny little complaint, though.
It's just like
Honestly, so far,
suspended-
the
It
story-
really is.
disbelief.
It's a little nitpick.
It's one of those things where you hear it and it's just for that split second it kicks you out of the immersion because you're like,
You're like, that's not,
Anyway, and then
that's
you get
not
back to it.
true.
yeah.
But overall, the weapons handle great. I mostly think that because I'm able to get plenty of headshots, and that always makes me feel very, very good. Navigating through if you're encountering like a random little area, navigating through that, super easy. If you're on a mission, navigating through that, super easy.
Boy, you missed the sparrow early on, though.
Oh, do we get
I
those
do, except
soon?
there's,
No,
well,
you get them max level. So you get them end of story, or when you get max level, you get a bright engram from Triss, and she'll. I think they have them always, but mine had.
I keep trying to
don't know
pop
if
my Sparrow and nothing happens, and I'm like, oh.
I don't
right.
know if doing this will get you one earlier in the game, but can't you get like an exclusive one from Pop-Tarts or something?
Oh, dude, maybe yeah.
I don't know if you get it early. I don't. I've heard
Yeah.
some kind of talk of a Pop-Tart.
Pikes
So-
will rove around in the
Yes.
EDZ, which are
I
nice.
steal one of those all the time.
Yeah.
yeah. So overall, good game.
Good game.
Everyone's
Very
pretty happy
good
with it.
game.
I'm sure we'll be.
Strikes are fucking really good. At the end of those strikes, like you open a chest and it literally spews out engrams and treasure and it's just like falling everywhere. That is something the
Feel
game has
good.
needed so badly.
By the way, PSA, a lot of those chests, you open it, and it's literally throwing shit on the ground.
Yeah,
that you
Yeah,
need
you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just fair warning.
Yeah.
I tested it out. I watched an engram fall and I watched a little green triangle, which is your coins fall. Walked away from it. Was in my mail.
That's true. That does happen.
Well,
if you
it
leave
does
something
that-
behind, it pops up in your mailbox.
Including Glimmer,
Oh, I don't know about Glimmer, but Glimmer's fucking like
because they're just big
Glimmer
blocks
is
of Glimmer that
Glimmer
fall
is a
out, too.
non-issue for me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I remember having to pop the consumables every time I went to a raid because I'm like, man, I got to farm for Glimmer. Now it's like,
They went through
They're
weird
everywhere.
cycles where it's like, this is useless, and it's maxed, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, here you really need a lot of Glimmer all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
also, one more thing that I'm so happy are gone now. Element or the little things that you have to pick up on Mars and Earth and everything,
Yeah,
like
the-
spin metal.
The
Those are
crafting
gone.
materials. That's what I mentioned
Those-
earlier.
those
like,
are in
they
the
still
game.
exist.
Well, I mean, they still exist. Like you can pick them up and you can turn them in
Yeah.
to level. But I mean, you don't
need
need
them.
spin metal
You don't need to level
up
your
your
gun.
guns.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
They're just a bonus.
Yeah.
You don't have to find them.
I spent
I-
so many Vanguard
I'm trying to
points
think if
on
they're
spin
for
metal.
anything, but
Nope,
I think they're just rep so
yeah,
far.
It's literally just
yeah.
rep. which is nice.
All right, well, Destiny has, I'd say officially kicked off. This is now that we're in the holiday games rush.
Yep.
Would you say like Destiny's the one, or would you say Mario Rabbids?
I think Mario Rabbids.
Let's say Mario Rabbids. Either way,
For the
we are
Nintendo
now
people, sure.
in
Whatever,
the
Ryan.
holiday games period. So
Yes.
we're going to spend a little time just very quickly running down all the games that are going to come out and talking about the ones that we're most excited about.
Let's hear it.
What?
So close.
Throwing things? All right, so there's tons of games coming out this holiday. I'm going to run down the list really quickly.
Hit 'em.
Keep in mind the ones that you are looking forward to the most. And also, this may not be an exhaustive list. There's always a ton of stuff that comes out on Steam in particular that gets missed. I'm hoping that Stardew Valley for Switch ends up on this list, even though we don't have a date for that yet, because no, it is with Nintendo for certification. But moving on. Okay, so Knack 2 came out this week.
No one
Destiny
noticed.
2 came out this week.
Donkey did.
Coming out in the future, NASCAR Heat 2 hits PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 12th.
So hot. Who cares?
Pro Evolution Soccer 2018 hits PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360. Yes, those are still getting games, and PC on September 12th. Divinity Original Sin is hitting PC September 14th.
Number 2.
Yes. Dishonored Death of the Outsider is hitting PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 15th.
Which is
See,
standalone, right?
Yeah, that's the one starring Billy.
Yes, it's a standalone, so you don't have to have Dishonored 2 to play it.
Yeah, it's think of it like Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yes.
Where it's like it's DLC-ish, but it's standalone. Let's see. NBA Live 18 hits PS4 and Xbox One September 15th. This is a big week. NHL 18 hits PS4 and Xbox One September 15th. Metroid Samus Returns hits 3DS September 15th. Then get a little bit of a break for like 3 days. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite hits PS4, Xbox One, PC September 19th. NBA 2K18 hits PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC September 19th. Pokemon Gold and Silver hit 3DS on September 22nd. Pokken Tournament Deluxe hits Switch on September 22nd. That one's actually coming up really quick. I don't feel like there's been a ton of focus on Pokken Tournament, but it's coming out soon. Project Cars 2 hits PS4, Xbox One, PC September 22nd. Blue Reflection hits PS4 and PC September 26th. Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony hits PS4 and Vita September 26th. Hob hits PS4, PC September 26th. Ruiner hits PS4, Xbox One, and PC September 26th. Cuphead. At long last, Cuphead on Xbox One and PC September 29th. FIFA 18 is hitting everything, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PS3, Xbox 360, PC, also September 29th. Gundam Versus hits PS4 September 29th, and Total War Warhammer 2 hits PC September 29th. That's just September. So
quite a list.
That is a very long list, particularly for September, October. But just going down this list, even though so many of these games are not for me, there are so many that are, I feel blessed.
Lots of options.
Hashtag blessed. Because like there are a lot of really good games coming. Ryan, what are you excited about?
Shadow of War, Fractured But Whole. Let's see, what else was on that list? Wolfenstein, absolutely. Call of Duty, and Assassin's Creed, I think, are the big ones. What can I say? I'm more of a AAA guy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, also, we don't have a ton of indies on this list. Like I said, it's not exhaustive. There are a lot of indie games that they get their release dates last minute. You know, there are a bunch of games that are like later in 2017 that just they don't have specific dates. These are the dates that I have.
2017. And
we hope.
Which holiday?
Right.
There are multiple of them.
Yeah. How about you, Adam?
I think the biggest one on that list is Mario Odyssey for me, along with Destiny 2 on PC.
Yeah.
Then, aside from that, like, Wolfenstein looks really good. And I'll check everything else out as it comes. But really, it's Mario and Destiny on PC.
Those are the big ones for you. Those are the highlights.
Mario, Destiny on PC, Assassin's Creed, and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think, so Destiny's out. I'm gonna play Metroid: Samus Returns. I've been complaining so much about not getting more Metroid that I feel like even though this is a remake of of Metroid 2, gotta play it. Also, I do need some reason to pull my 3DS out again. It's been a while, so I'll play that. Cuphead, I'm super excited about. There was a video that came out though that does. Everyone's saying it's very, very difficult. This has been borne out by some gameplay this week, which we'll talk about in the news. But regardless, still super excited about it. I'm gonna check out Forza 7 because I really liked Forza Horizon 3. It was amazing. I know they're very, very different approaches, but I think that the Horizon may have got me over the hump into racing games a little bit more. So I'm gonna at least check that out. again, I'm with everyone. Super Mario Odyssey. Well, everyone except Ryan. Super Mario Odyssey. I'm
Dude,
I'm
it's gonna be
stoked
so
about.
good, man.
But,
He throws his hat to things and
does-
becomes them.
It'd be a dinosaur. Arr.
Look, it's really, let's be honest, it's a game about a hat slowly eating a man's mind.
Yes,
It's all right. It's like The Mask with Jim Carrey, but with Mario instead.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. It's gonna be great. South Park Fractured But Whole seems like a lot of fun. Assassin's Creed Origins. I'm gonna check it out because I'm curious to see how the rest has helped Assassin's Creed. I want to see if they've improved. The gameplay looks
The combat's
stellar.
totally different.
Please
It's crazy.
work on the PC. Just please. At launch, please function.
Would be great. You might be asking a
Please
lot.
work on the console. I mean,
Please have faces.
Maybe achievable.
sure.
Maybe achievable. Wolfenstein also sounds great. And finally, I mean, I guess those are my real big ones as well. And then my final one is not dated, but I want Stardew Switch.
Someday.
Someday.
Did you see that Tyree, the guy
Oh, yeah,
is
so-
making like a Wizards and Witch Academy game?
It's going to be so good.
Oh
Like,
my
it's like
fucking
a cross
God.
between like Stardew Valley meets like a Harry Potter.
You're
Yeah,
speaking
yeah,
the
of
language.
course I've seen
That is a game that I'll be.
The little screenshot looks so cute with the 3 little witches like talking in a little group, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I know this is gonna eat my life.
I feel like it's got to be very, very far off.
Oh God, yeah.
But so I'm trying not to too hype just yet. But
It's
and
supposedly
the other,
called Spellbound. by the way.
Spellbound?
That's such a
Yeah.
cute name.
and the other game that I'm very much looking forward
Sorry,
to
name.
for
Yeah,
holiday
definitely.
2017 is
Name.
Terraria.
Oh yeah.
It's not a new release, but I'm going to learn to play it.
Good. Good. I'm excited. I want to play more. So.
Yeah, so I feel like, you know, between all of us, there are a couple specific games that it all seems like we're going to be playing, and a lot of the other ones fall by the wayside, which is not to say bad things about those games. I think maybe we're just a little bit narrower in scope. Like, none of us really get into those sports titles or the, you know, like the crazy fighting games or anything like that. So there are a ton of games on this list that look super amazing. Actually, if you want to let us know which games you're looking forward to, that may help us get a better handle on what the overall gaming community is looking forward to. So leave those in the comments. And let's take a couple minutes and just quickly talk about news. There are a couple like major highlights this week, so I think we'll focus on the top 3 news of the week. Cool?
Lightning news. Go.
News. Okay, so 3 news items. First, I mentioned it very briefly when Cuphead came up on the list for release later this month, but a video came out. It's a gameplay video from Gamescom, came out from GamesBeat. It was showing just straight gameplay of the game being played by GamesBeat journalist Dean Takahashi, and it is bad.
Is bad.
It is
bad.
Admittedly,
mean?
they admit it that he's no good at platformers, that he's terrible. It's the thing is it's kind of a run and gun game that looks a lot like
Kinda
a classic,
Contra-esque, yeah.
but it looks kind of like you might expect it to play like a Mario game. So he was trying to like jump on enemies instead of shoot at them, and it took a minute and a half to make a like jump dash over a wall, that sort of thing. So I totally admitted that he's not great, but it's just reignited this huge firestorm about whether game journalists need to be good at games in order to be credible.
They need to be tolerable at games to be credible.
Yeah, well, and I think there's 2 elements to the conversation as well. Is a lot of people are saying reviewers need to be good, which I agree that reviewers at the very least should be competent.
Right.
The distinction being that Dean, the guy in question who was playing, he doesn't do reviews. He used to, and admits that he was not good at them even then. The 2007 he actually retracted a Mass Effect review because he didn't realize you could like spend upgrade points.
I think that is serious. Oh God.
Yeah, so I think that maybe that was the ding would be like, maybe I don't review games, but he's a wonderful journalist. He
Here's the
actually
thing.
breaks a lot of stories, digs through court cases.
It's don't know that it's necessarily required to be a good gamer to be a games journalist, I will say you probably get a lot more out of the limited windows you get to play with a game when you get a demo of it, if you are good at it.
I think that this is a story where it's two questions of like, should you be good at games, and this guy specifically. I think this situation is one where like he might have been at the event, he might have been the only person that was able to play the game in question, and even if it wasn't his kind of game, they wanted to get some coverage of it, which is like kind of it's just not a great situation to judge like a story on based on one situation. Like if you sent me to Gamescom and were like, dude, go play the new RTS that's coming out, I'd be like, awesome, I'm gonna suck.
But
and like,
you need to
I'm really good at like certain games. Like I'm great at Dark Souls. I'm good at like platformers and things like that. But like, don't ask me to play fucking Sonic. You know?
Or don't ask me to play FIFA. I'm gonna be terrible.
Right.
Right.
You know, and which I totally understand, but and sometimes you are in a situation because most outlets aren't huge, where you're limited to like, well, we've only got one guy at the event, so the choice is between having no gameplay and having some gameplay. You know, then of course it's like, well, would no gameplay have been better in this case? But overall, overall, like I feel like personally, the reviewers should be competent enough to be able to communicate what an average player's experience is going to be like, but actually shouldn't be too good, or they won't be able to relate to the average gamer. But also, you need to be competent at that genre.
Middle of the road, all the way.
Yeah.
I think more than being good at a game, I think a consistent voice across a publication is really important. Because if I look at certain publications and if I know if they give a game a good rating, I'm gonna go out and buy it because I trust their word. And I know they're not the best at games, but like I know they're competent and like trusted. So I think that's more important than skill.
Yeah. Also, whenever someone can acknowledge their bias.
Yeah.
I like that. Like people being like, look, I love 90s style open-ish world collectathons, and I think that the ukulele was amazing. It's like, it's good to know, because if I'm that guy, then I'm probably going to resonate with this answer. If not, then I can be a little bit more skeptical.
Yeah, if you start a review by saying, I don't like fighting games, and I thought this fighting game sucked, then it's a terrible review.
Right.
It does no one any good.
Right. Next up, and Mica, I was out of town when this one happened, so you may have a little bit more detail, but Nintendo has just lost a lawsuit. This is not the Game Vice lawsuit, but they did lose a lawsuit. There was they have to pay $10 million to a company that took them to court over claims they'd copied their tech for the Wiimote. So again, Wiimote.
Not the
This is
Joy-Con.
this is not Game Vice. The company actually makes monitors for like babies and old people.
It's I've fallen down and I can't get up. It's not them specifically, but it's
Life alert?
It's kind of life alert.
like one of those like you shake a thing and it
knows
to
alerts
contact someone
that you are injured.
Okay.
So it's
There was technology from that in the Wiimote.
The accelerate whatever
accelerometer, gyroscoperometer. But it's
All right.
on its own not a huge issue. It's $10 million for a company like Nintendo. That's not going to break the bank, but it is a concerning trend. They have lost a lawsuit over using patented technology in the 3DS. So they have to like pay out for every 3DS for the glasses-free 3D screen. There's this, and now they are being sued by Game Vice, and Game Vice actually wants the Switch pulled from shelves. So I worry a little bit about the trend, but
That's why there's a shortage.
I don't think that being pulled from shelves is likely to happen, but it's certainly something that Game Vice is angling for, if for nothing else, to
For
play hardball.
notoriety, sure.
Yeah, but I find it interesting. It's for the Game Vice thing. Like I feel like Nintendo's got a patent, so they should be able to argue like good faith. The fact that an accelerometer in a completely different type of product,
Like not even related in the slightest.
The
It helps
accelerometers are
old
pretty
people get
common.
to the hospital.
right?
There must be something more specific that they have some wording in the patent that was specific to both the Wiimote and a life alert necklace. I can't imagine what it was, but
Yeah, but it's a weird little bit of news. It's something that I think makes the Game Vice suit worth following. But also of note that this is for the Wiimote. This is very, very old. Stuff
this
takes
is
a
when-
long time to go through courts.
Yeah, we won't be hearing about the Game Vice thing anytime soon.
Yep.
Yeah,
Unless
and
it
the
completely collapsed.
like even the Oculus Rift lawsuit with ZeniMax, even that took was over a year to go through. So I think it'll be a while before you hear about Game Vice. But I now kind of want to follow it more closely because I'm more concerned about it.
They'll rule to pull the Switch off the shelves when the Switch 2 3DS XL is out.
Yeah.
Right, the new Switch XS.
Oh, God.
XL.
Now with a screen that's not between two controllers somehow.
It's between 4 controllers.
Yeah. All right.
for you.
Now, moving on just quickly to the final item of news. It's not huge, but Denuvo was the DRM protecting Sonic Mania on PC,
The
cracked in a
cocky,
matter of
cocky
days.
DRM.
No longer any
Been really
cause to
taken
be
down
cocky.
today.
So, and initially when Denuvo came out, it pretty well protected games for a couple of months. And that's those early days are when developers want it protected most to keep it off pirate sites as much as possible to drive as many sales as they can. Once you get that sort of several months out, the majority of people who could buy it, who would be interested in buying it, probably have. So they figure that whatever filthy pirates wouldn't have bought it anyway.
Filthy pirates.
Filthy pirates. But now we're talking days before Sonic Mania. And so now, because the DRM required people to have an online connection in order to play the game, so it's always online essentially, the people who bought the game legitimately and are dealing with Denuvo are suffering limitations that people who pirated the game don't have.
That's always, been kind of a thing about DRM, and going back to the days when you used to have the CD and the drive to play something. It was a huge advantage to. People that bought the game legitimately would still crack it, just because that's annoying. Especially with games that you can do the full install and get all the content off of it. It's like,
Right.
well, now you're just wasting my life, and I
Right.
bought it. So, no, the DRM is a very two-edged sword.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder if Denuvo in particular is now over. It was the new hotness, now it's all busted. And I'm very curious to see what the next hotness in DRM technology is going to look like.
Be called
it's
Tu Nuvo.
Yeah, every game is just going to come with a guy with a bat that just follows you.
Yeah. Although then again, there is a question too of how necessary DRM is entirely. Obviously, a lot of developers, a lot of publishers think it's very, very necessary because again, it protects them launch day, launch week, whatever they can get. But then you have publishers as well, like CD Projekt Red. They just announced, not crazy income. It was like 30 million for the half, and they don't do their, anti-DRM. Their Steam competitor, GOG, is also non-DRM, and that's really the angle they take. Is if you make a good game and you be good to people, they will be good to you.
Yep.
But obviously, not every game is amazing, and not every developer is going to get the kind of community that CD Projekt has managed to foster that want to give them their money.
Right.
Yeah.
But so very curious to see what follows Denuvo. I feel like it had better come up pretty quick since
People get too used to it.
Yep.
They'll be like, I've been living in a DRM-free world for too long. I can't go back.
I'm so free. Look at no limitations.
Either that or it's just Vinny and his bat coming home with you every time.
Vinny?
It's the guy.
Nice name.
DRM.
Guy with the bat.
Why's it gotta be Vinny?
Because he doesn't like his name Vincent, so he goes by Vinny.
Makes him more casual.
Yeah.
More approachable.
Exactly.
You're
It's like
gonna-
the guys.
he's
It's
gonna be
just
living
one of
with
the
you
guys.
from now
It's
on,
just
so
old
you want
Vinny.
him to be kind of
Dudley. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Vincent does sound pretty formal.
Right?
Just
Would you
the way
rather
get
have
the bat.
Vincent
the
beating
name
the shit
that-
out of you or Vinny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Vinny. Vincent sounds like he's sending you his resume.
You can still be friends with Vinny after he breaks your knee one time.
It's true.
One time.
One time.
Vinny's sorry.
Once both the knees are out, you're no good to anyone.
That's true.
All right, well, on that note, that is this episode of Glitch Please. We will be back next week to talk about more games. Obviously, there are a lot of games to talk about through this holiday season, and we'll run through some more news, have some cool conversations. If you are a Rooster Teeth First member, we will have an episode of New Game Plus up on the website for you, so you can get a little bit more glitch in your life, but the good kind of glitch, not the bad kind of glitch. And thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
I'm sure.
Bye.